Welcome back to Cfit on Demand, where your community, your club, and your wellness not only comes to your home, but today we're going to your kitchen. And we're going to talk nutrition. I know this is something a lot of people have questions with, so we're going to cover pre and post-workout nutrition. Basically, what and why should you be eating and consuming before your workout, and what and why after your workout. So the first thing I want to start with is carbohydrates. The basics of understanding why you should consume carbohydrates is understanding what carbohydrates do. Carbohydrates does one thing: give you energy. That's all I need you guys to think about. It gives you energy. So if you consume that before your workout, the overall goal is to have enough energy to not only get you through your workout, but to sustain the whole workout. Those are the two variables I want you guys thinking about. What I mean by that is you need to consume a carbohydrate that has enough carbs in it that literally will give you energy to get through your workout. I mean, if you're doing a basic, slow-paced workout, you don't need a lot of carbohydrates. If you're doing a more high-intensity interval training or weight training workout, you'll probably need more carbohydrates. So that's literally what you're basing your consumption on. I always tell people you want to make sure though when you're eating, you're not eating so many foods that literally you're feeling full, because that can literally slow down your workout. Now the second half of that variable is what type of carbohydrates. You got two different types: simple and complex. Another way in which people say them is fast digesting carbs or slow digesting carbs. The difference between those two is very simple. You get it? Very simple. A simple carbohydrate releases sugar quickly. What that means is literally when you consume it, the sugar breaks down immediately and gets in your body. Whereas a slow digesting carbohydrate, or a complex carbohydrate as another word, releases sugar slowly. So you still consume it, but it takes a long period of time for the carbohydrates to break down. Why does that make a difference? Well, think about it. If you consume a simple carbohydrate and the sugar releases quickly, it gets broken down quickly, you get energy quickly. But that also means it goes away quickly. Whereas if you have a complex carbohydrate, the sugar releases slowly, which means it breaks down slowly, and you'll have a little bit more sugar to last you over a long period of time. It may not give you as much energy at one given moment, but it'll last you over a long period of time. So that's really how you're gauging things. So if you're doing like a quick 10 to 15 minute workout, you could probably get away with a simple carbohydrate which releases sugar quickly, and therefore you'll have enough energy for that 10-15 minutes, and by the time you run out of that sugar, you're done with your workout. But if you're going for a long period of time, like an hour, you probably want to go more towards a complex carbohydrate which releases sugar slowly so it can give you energy over a long period of time. A good way to think about it is when we were kids, we would have like kid cereal, and the kids would be real hyper and then they would literally crash. The reason why is kid cereal is a simple carbohydrate. It releases sugar quickly, you get energy quickly, but then it goes away and you just crash really hard. Whereas if you had like a slow digesting carbohydrate for your kids, brown rice, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, that releases sugar slowly and you'll have energy to last you over a longer period of time. So simple carbohydrates would be like white rice, white bread, kid cereal, like I said, all the sweets, the things we like: pies, cookies, cakes, candy, soda, juice. A slow digesting carbohydrate would be like oatmeal, quinoa, brown rice, sweet potatoes. A lot of fruits are slow digesting carbohydrates. So that's the difference between those two. And like I said, you just want to consume enough to give you energy, but not go too far overboard where it's kind of slowing down your workout. Now, as far as timing, you should be consuming a carbohydrate 1 to 2 hours before your workout. If you consume it too quickly, the sugar hasn't even broken down. If you consume it too far out, the sugar has already been utilized and therefore it's not really giving the benefit that you need. So that is what you really should be thinking about as far as pre-workout. You also want to get a source of protein in, because at the end of the day, if you're weight training, you are breaking down muscle and you want that muscle to start repairing and kind of like a protecting mechanism, and that's what protein does. And even if you're not weight training, if you're doing cardio and you're on a low carbohydrate diet, what can end up happening is you burn all your carbohydrates away, so your body starts looking for a second source of energy, which could be muscle. So to prevent that, if you're consuming protein before your workout, it can utilize those amino acids in the protein as energy sources and kind of preserve your muscle. So keep those variables in mind. You want a carbohydrate source, preferably slow digesting. If you're more of a longer workout, shorter workout, you can kind of get away with a simple carb, and then you want a source of protein. Now, post-workout, this is where all the myths and the misconceptions and the he say, she say, everything comes out. First things first, should you be consuming a protein source after your workout? Yes. Should you be consuming a carbohydrate source after your workout? Yes. One big misconception is timing. A lot of people have heard you need to have a post-workout immediately. I mean, a lot of people probably know some guy or girl that works out in the gym, they weight train, and immediately after they work out, they go and get themselves a protein shake. Well, the reason why they're getting a protein shake, usually it's a whey protein shake, W-H-E-Y, whey isolate. The reason why they're doing that is there's the misconception that your body is doing most of its repairs from muscle breakdown within 30 minutes up to an hour after your workout. So therefore, you need to get something in your body that will literally get into the muscle within 30 minutes to an hour. So the misconception is, well, since whey protein or protein powders in general are already in a powder form, they'll break down and get in the bloodstream quicker and get to that muscle, which is kind of true. Technically, because it's a powder form, it does get to whatever area you need it to get to. And think about it like this. If you're doing biceps, when you're curling, when you get what they call that pump, what that pump is essentially you broke down the muscle fibers. Essentially you broke the muscle, you tore little myofibers, little strands of muscle in your body. And what ends up happening is your body sends over vitamins, minerals, and protein to start repairing that muscle fiber. And the only way you can send over nutrients in the body is through the blood. That's the pump you're feeling. So if you got a pump, as they say, where a muscle feels swollen, that's because you've literally broken down myofibers in that muscle, and your body is now sending over nutrients to start repairing it. So a lot of people's thought process behind a protein powder is, well, if I consume the protein powder, that'll get in the bloodstream and it'll go over there as well. That is true. But the misconception is this: it's not 30 minutes to an hour. It actually goes for up to 3 hours. So you really don't have to rush to go ahead and get that protein shake as quickly as possible. I mean, if you have it on you, great. But if you don't, I remember when I was a kid, I used to leave from the gym and I had to make an errand. I would go home first, get my protein shake, even though it was out the way, just to get that in me as quickly as possible before I ran my errand. Sometimes I would pass by the place I was going to and then double back because I thought I had to get that protein shake in as quickly as possible. That is proven incorrectly. So you do want to get a source of protein in. Protein powders are considered some of the best choices, whey isolates. But at the end of the day, you do not have to rush to do it. You can do it within 30 minutes to an hour. Now, the second misconception is carbohydrates. A lot of people think either you're not supposed to have a carbohydrate, or huge misconception is you need a simple carbohydrate, which we talked about earlier. Both of those are incorrect. You do need a carbohydrate because what happens is a lot of your carbohydrates, fun fact, majority of your carbohydrates, if they're not in the bloodstream, they're in your muscle. Your muscle is utilizing them as energy. So when you're weight training, you burn off a lot of those carbohydrates. And that means you're not gonna have energy for your next workout. So if you worked out on Monday and after your workout you didn't consume any carbohydrates, you're not gonna have a good workout on Tuesday. Guaranteed. It may be all right, but it's not gonna be what it could have been, the potential that it could have been. To get your muscle back replenished and ready to go for your next workout, it's important to have a carbohydrate source post-workout. Now, what do you have? You can have a simple or complex, it's literally your discretion. But you still should apply that same concept of having a carbohydrate source within no 3 hour period that you're applying with protein. That should also apply with carbohydrates as well. The technical number is 30 to 70 grams within the first 3 hours. And you should, how should I say this, continue to consume it. Because believe it or not, protein synthesis, which long drawn out way of saying muscle repair, goes on for 24 hours from when you worked out. So let me show you what I mean. So if this is when you worked out, muscle repair starts and then it goes up. It'll stay up for 3 hours. Mine's that little curve right there. And it'll still stay up all the way for 24 hours. So what that means is this. This is that 3 hour period in which your muscle is very sensitive, it's taking in all the protein and carbohydrates. But even over the next 24-hour period, which we'll call this right here, your muscle is still more sensitive than it was before you did your workout. So even over the next 24 hours, it's important to get quality protein in, quality carbohydrates, and actual new scientific research includes caffeine in within that 3-hour period. That's a fun fact for you guys. So post-workout, within 3 hours, you want a source of quality protein. Whey isolate is preference if you're going for a protein supplement. You also want carbohydrates. It's not so much of a big deal that you need simple or complex carbohydrates anymore. It used to be, if somebody tells you, no, it has to be simple, that's because simple breaks down quickly and they thought they needed to get it in within 30 minutes or an hour, and since it breaks down quicker, it will get in. That's been proven false, so you can go with your carbohydrate of choice. And then you want to continue to consume protein and quality carbohydrates for the duration of your 24-hour period. How much? 30 to 70 grams within that 3-hour period. As far as how many carbohydrates you need to consume total, that's really going to depend upon each person. Some people are more sensitive to carbohydrates, some people are not. It's actually been proven that scientifically, some bodies respond better to low-fat diets, some bodies respond better to low-carbohydrate diets. So you got to kind of learn your body type to figure out what works best for you. If you guys got any further questions, feel free to tune in, ask us questions. This is Cfit On Demand, where your community, your club, and your wellness comes to your home.